Well, hello, welcome to this new video and welcome to the Real Code Show. In this video, we are taking back the topic of how to make a login system with Spring Security and Spring Framework, more specifically with Spring Boot. I have done a first video. This like a series of video. The first part is uploaded on my channel. If you haven't seen it yet, you can see it up here. It's going to be appearing a card where you can just click it and then it will be redirecting you to my first video that I have done into this part of how to make a login system integrating Spring Security and Spring Boot. So in this case, we have done all of the configuration in the first video. If you want a detailed information, like I said, please visit that video for you to have more context of it. Now, in this video, what I want to take back is to how to create the controllers. Like I said in the past video, I am going to make the controllers here and to make the pages with Thymeleaf. So these are going to be like all of these videos. So I don't want to delay more and talk more shit on this topic because this will delay me more time, and well, I don't want it to be this video so long again. So now I am going to be creating a authentication controller. So the name, you can name it as you want, because it's just a controller class that I am going to be creating. Just if you don't mind, my computer is so annoying lately. It has been annoying so lately because it has been like kind of freezing all the time. But yeah, I just want to here switch the configuration because I want to put the @controller here to annotate the class that corresponding to a controller class. And what I want to do here is to first, this controller is going to be taking the login path and is going to be taking another path that will be responsible of making the log out for the user and also redirecting to the dashboard. These controllers are not going to be containing a lot of logic because these are going to be like just of redirection for redirection purposes. And so you will be seeing that I'm going to be using a specific object to redirect values to the Thymeleaf pages. So I am going to be putting request mapping here, and I'm going to put value login and for the request mapping to locate my method. And this method is going to be accepting either post and get methods. So in this case, my logging path here or endpoint will be making function to retrieve information and to send information. So that's why I put into the two methods, either get or post. Now I am going to be naming this method that is going to be containing all of the redirection of the it regards the logic of the logging, and I am going to be accepting request param here, where if there's any value of the variable error, which is going to be required as false, and I'm going to be capturing it in this string error. And also, if the Spring Security sends me a value of logout, that also is not required too, because it is going to be contained. Let me see here. It is request param. I put request mapping. But yeah, these flags or these values are not going to be required because this is in case where the Spring Security sends me any value that either has sent me an error due to the process of the login system, or the user has been logged out. These are going to be evaluated in this controller to put some certain message. In this case, you can see here that the AI is suggesting me to put or create an error message based on a string, and this is based on the either if the error variable is set to true or the log out variable is set to true, then the error message will vary on those values, and based on that, I will put a value of error message, and I will be returning it into a model object and adding that error message into an attribute. And then I'm going to be returning simply to the login HTML that I am going to be creating that page later on. So these are going to be my request, well, my path of logging, and this is all of the code that will be containing. So these are all for this. I am going to be writing the other method that is for the logout. These are going to be just for the request, and I'm going to be writing the string and then logout page. What I am going to be accepting here is an HTTP servlet request for accept the request and the response. Let me import this class, and I am going to be accepting the response. Now I am going to be creating an authentication because I want to capture first here. I'm going to capture the authentication method that is contained into the Spring security context. And what I am going to do here is to, whenever the user clicks the logout button, the authentication object will be deleted and invalidated its session into the Spring security context. To do so, I'm going to be equaling this to a security, let me see, security context holder. This is the object, and I am going to be getting the it's a static method of get context, and I am going to be getting the authentication object that is contained into the security context holder. Now, if the authentication captured is different from null, meaning that there is a user into the Spring security context, what I am going to do is to return, well, just creating a security context logout handler to handle all of this authentication. And by this, I am going to be calling the logout, and I am going to be passing three parameters: the request, the response, and the authentication gotten from the security context. And here I am going to be returning simply a redirection to the login again, because this login, what I am consulting here, is to this method. That's why I have created it first, because I am going to be sending a value of logout set to true. And you know why? When I set to true this logout, when I call this method, the logout will be set to true. And that means that the logout will be different from null, and the error message will be, you have been successfully logged out. And that's it's simple system. So you can see here that there's no logic like to authenticate or to match manually if the credentials are equals to something or the password is something like that, because all of this logic handles the Spring security module in this case. So what you are going to do here is just only redirecting the user and handling or managing its responses. Now, there's only one thing left to do here and one method to write, and that is to redirect whenever the user successes into the process of logging in the system. So in this case, what I want to create is another endpoint of dashboard, and this dashboard will be redirecting to the dashboard page just created with Thymeleaf. So as you can see here, the AI is already suggesting me another endpoint, and what I am going to be creating is another endpoint that is going to be returning a model and view, and I am going to be just naming it as display dashboard here. You can see here that the AI is already suggesting me, because I want to save time here, I just going to press tab here, and basically what I am doing here is to create a model and view object, and I am going to be initializing it with passing as a parameter the name of the Thymeleaf page that I am going to be creating in the resources pages. And then I will add an object, like I can put a message, or you can put either the the user object or just a message like I am doing right now. And what I am sending here is to put into the message, welcome to the dashboard, simply. And then I return the whole object to the dashboard HTML. And then I will capture this object into the dashboard HTML. And then you will see that I am going to be using the spell that is Spring. I can't remember exactly the name of that, but I use the exclusive language of controlling the objects. I have already remembered it. Is the Spring expression language. So I am going to be using that in my Thymeleaf, but I am going to be creating another controller, and that is to handle the request of the home. So basically what I'm going to do here is just to create another endpoint, and I'm going to be returning just the home. There's no more. If you want to add it, just add it. Or if you want to create another controller just for it, you can go ahead and create it as you want. But in my case, what I'm going to put here is apart from telling that is going to be /home, I'm going to be also telling him that whenever the user puts a slash or a /home, this endpoint will be executing, and then will be returning myself to the home dashboard or the home HTML again. So either way, if I put just the slash or the /home, this endpoint will be executing. So maybe if you don't know it, well, now you know that. So having all of these controllers done, what I am going to do is just to create in the section of templates. Take a look that here in the templates is where I'm going to be creating all of the HTML that is going to be containing all of the content of the logging, the dashboard, and the home. Just those three pages is what I am going to be creating. Now, as I said, I am going to be creating the home HTML, and I am going to put just a simple content here to denote that the user is already into the page of home. So what I'm going to do here is just to paste this directive. You can see here that I'm going to be using the XMLNS to get or retrieve all of the directives of Thymeleaf. Now, the another part that I am going to be pasting is the section. This is just a regular content for the home page, and you can see here that I am going to be enabling two links. One is to consult to the home page, that is to call the controller that I have just done here. You can see here that is specifically the last one, because this link will be calling that, and the another link will be calling the logging. So whenever the user clicks this link, will be calling the logging method here, and will be redirecting to the login HTML. So having all of this done, what I'm going to do now is to create another page, and I am going to be naming it login. Now, regards the login, the login page, I am going to be creating here, I'm going to paste the content. It's just a simple form, so let me explain you just this in a minute. Let me paste the another directive here. And well, so there's one I have unexplained to you. I haven't explained to you the needing of this directive. So this directive we will be using it whenever we want to use the Thymeleaf engine. So based that we are going to be working with Thymeleaf, we are incorporating the th library here, and we can put or use that directive into whatever action or whatever execution of process we want to do with Thymeleaf. We have to incorporate that module. So in this case, that's why I am always putting this directive. So anyways, the content of the login system, the login page, sorry, I am going to be creating a form. And in this form, what I'm going to be calling is just the th action. And this will be all of the content. You can see here that there are two inputs here. One for the username to enter the username and the password. And all of this data will be sent again to the login controller by hitting the login button. And you can see that take a look at this. Based on the error message that the login controller threw me, I will be catching it with the spell syntaxes here. That is the Spring expression language. And I am going to be validating whenever I load again the page. And the strings is different from empty here. You can see here that I put the exclamation symbol here. Then the hashtag strings is empty. And if the error message is different from empty, then I'm going to be printing either the error message would be either if the username or password is incorrect or the user has been logged out. Simply. So that's all. And finally, I put another link to redirect again to the home. There's no more science on that. And the last page that I am going to be creating is, guess what? The dashboard. So the dashboard that I'm going to be creating here, again, I'm going to put dashboard, and I'm going to be copying again the content. You can put other content if you want, but to make simple this video, I'm just going to put this content here. And also don't forget to, again, put the directive to get back the Thymeleaf library. So in this case, I am going to put here as the title of the page, dashboard page. And you can see here that whenever the user logs in successfully, we are going to be printing as an H1, welcome to the dashboard, and a P tag, printing the message that we just sent to the dashboard page. What was the message in this case? The message was here in this. You can see here that whenever the Spring Security again calls the dashboard endpoint, we are going to be initializing here, that is something that I have explained to you, in the model object, and I am going to be adding an object. And the object will be named message. And the message that container will be welcome to the dashboard. And then I return the model and view object. And then when I got into dashboard.html, I'm going to be making sure again if the message sent or the object sent through by the model and view object is different from empty, then I'm going to be printing its value. And then I am going to be enabling a link. And guess what? This link will be redirecting to the logout endpoint. And in this case, if the user, whenever the user clicks into this logout link, this link will be calling this endpoint of logout. And we'll be doing the logic that I have already explained to you. So this is all for this part 2. So let's now test it in the browser. In the browser. And the final result is the following one. When we initiate the application here, I have just clicked into the play and execute the application. You can see here in the console that when my Spring application have just started, there's all of these directives printed, but in here you can see that my credentials were printed. And that's why in the first video I have told you that was important for you to print them into the console, because that's the only way available for you to see them and just to copy and paste it into the fields that we are just going to do that. So you can see here that the username and the password are just generated. So now you can see here that the first endpoint that the application redirects is to the home controller, or the / controller that you just saw in the past section. So whenever I click home, this will be redirecting me to home again. And if I click login, the simple form that I just put into the login.html is shown. Now I am going to be pasting the credentials printed here. I'm going to be copying and pasting here, and Spring Security will take care of the job behind the scenes to validate if these credentials match with the ones that we have running into memory. So let's see it now. And voila, this is the result that we just have gotten from the process. We have just successfully logged into the dashboard, and you can see here that is welcoming us to the dashboard. Now you can see here that there is a button available for us to click that is respectively for logging us ourselves out. And if I click into this, it is successfully logging me out. And you can see here the URL that is calling the controller of login, where the logout is equals to true. And then what I have told you into the controller section, that was whenever the logout is equals to true, then it will be printing me a message respectively for that message, for that action. Now, what about if I want to access the dashboard without authenticating properly? The only thing that is going to be happening is to redirect me again to the login page again. So Spring Security will take care of this too. You can see here that given that I am not authenticated still into the system or in the Spring Security context, Spring Security will take care and will just redirect me again to the login page. You can see here that it's already secured. Why? Because in the filter chain here, let's see, in the security, I have put as a constraint that whenever I want to access the dashboard page or route here, I have to be authenticated first. And by this, we are telling to Spring Framework or Spring Security specifically that whenever a user wants to access the dashboard, it has to be already, or it must be authenticated first prior to getting to the dashboard page. So having all of this said, I just want to thank you for having stayed until this point of the video. I just wanted to thank you, and well, I hope you have understood all of this topic and learned something new. If you haven't known something about this login system and how to integrate this with Spring Boot plus Spring Security and Thymeleaf, I hope that you have gotten a new knowledge. And well, this is all for this video. So if this video has helped you in some form, please give me a thumbs up for this video. I will be appreciating you so much if you do that for me, and subscribe. There's nothing cost for subscribe, or just to hit the subscribe button down below. And well, whatever doubt if you have about this topic, you can comment down below in the comment section. So I will be pending if you comment down there, and I will be responding as soon as possible. So having all of this said, well, I've just said this many times, but this is all for this video. Thank you for having stayed until this point, and we'll see each other until the next time. Bye.